The one danger and pitfall is that a lot of people assume that everybody knows about this. And what I have found in my experience is that the majority of people have no idea, and the majority of young people have really no idea that this is a crime and that this exists.
They say human trafficking, and I say, okay, what's that? And they share, you know, the information with me, like, and I keep a straight face because, you know, I don't want to fall apart in front of the girls, but when they started giving me all the facts, I said, okay, so we're talking about like India and Africa, like they said, no, right here in the United States, in fact, New Jersey is a hot spot for human trafficking. And that, it was just really all I could do to keep from crying. And when I got in my car, I really did like break down. It took me a while to get out of the parking lot because I just couldn't believe it.
Like, this is happening right here in New Jersey, right here. I mean, if you just Google human trafficking in New Jersey, the first few entries that come up are organizations that are serving victims and survivors. But just keep scrolling, and there's article after article about bus and just everything that's going on right here in our own little state.
March of 17, we did a Latino residential brothel. Historically, based upon our population and our base of intelligence, that's what we do the most of down here. We did a Backpage operation a number of years ago before Backpage was as big as it is now, and found that, at least at the time, and like I said, this a number of years ago, it was a little difficult to get people to travel down to this area. This wasn't a hub area. Now, I think that a similar operation would be a little more successful.
I cannot even imagine that people are not aware of it. And I think there's the lack of awareness that, or the lack of believing that this could happen in our backyard. For the longest, people thought that human trafficking was people that came from abroad and came in here. They never thought that American kids were being trafficked. And as a community, more awareness within the community, getting the schools involved, getting parents involved. Like, I did a talk for Spanish parents, and they were like, what? I said, no, why, you know, you kids have cell phones and social media is out there. Where do you think the traffickers are going for?
When young people are empowered to know the risk factors and the warning signs of human trafficking, then they'll be able to spot it and see it, not only to protect themselves, but then also to protect you know, their friends and family members as well. We know that the average age of entry into human trafficking is the ages between 12 and 14. The other aspect is empowering kids to understand internet safety. I once had a principal say to me, we're not going to have your kids come to present at our school until you can tell me that there is an actual threat of human trafficking within our town. So my response was, well, here's a cell phone. If any of your students have a cell phone, they are a potential for getting caught up in trafficking, because the predators and traffickers and so on, they know how to use social media to make connections to kids.
The middle school and the high schoolers are, they're prime targets for the conversation in its like most esoteric, like its rawest form. You can just speak straight to them because those children, they are used to the world living out loud. They are on the internet, they're watching TV, and they're exposed to a lot of conversations that a lot of parents don't even know that they're having. But the younger children, I am an early childhood specialist, and I have here a book called Safe. And what I did was, because I wanted to teach the little children about being safe, so I wouldn't say human trafficking to them, but I do teach them about safe relationships, how you want to tell your mom and dad everything, you want to tell them where you're going, how you want to stay away from strangers, and it actually has a song with it. So in the back of each of these books, there's a CD for the children to listen to, and a song, like a little jingle for them to learn about being safe.
The New Jersey Coalition Against Human Trafficking focuses primarily on New Jersey and brings together everyone in New Jersey. They're the most wide open and inclusive group as far as a state organization. So the coalition has been that place to bring everyone together.
Advocacy work is very much part of what the coalition is doing the whole time. And we do that in part through the Legislative Committee, which investigates whether the 2013 Human Trafficking Prevention and Protection and Treatment Act is being properly implemented. So we keep our eye on that and ensure that good legislation that we were helped to write in the first place becomes really well implemented in the state.
As co-chair of the Healthcare Committee, I've been able to leverage resources for the coalition and on behalf of the coalition, working with the National American Academy of Pediatrics and other organizations such as Heal Trafficking, the Alliance to Stop Slavery and End Trafficking, among others, to eradicate human trafficking in New Jersey.
We did a survey last year of our staff in April to find out what they knew about human trafficking, and we had 3,200 responses, which is a lot, right? We have about 9,000 employees if you count everybody per diem and part-time, so 3,200 responses we were really happy with. And what we found out was that about 70% of our staff said they knew little or nothing about human trafficking. So that for us was the impetus for us to be able to move forward to start developing a PowerPoint. We have an e-learning system in the hospital where we get assigned different mandatory educations. So this will become one of them. So our goal is that once we can prove that it's been effective here, that we can roll it out to the rest of the system, which will cover so many places in New Jersey.
We serve individuals who are identified as being victims of or at risk for exploitation through human trafficking. We provide an array of services to the individuals that include a 24-hour hotline crisis response. We have 2 teams that are able to respond to the victims within 90 minutes to 2 hours, anywhere in the state. We provide that short-term intervention crisis mode work as well as the longer-term case management. We stay with our clients through kind of the rest of their journey, and we never close the cases.
I think the way you best go about it is to initially determining this is important to us, and then learning about it, attending seminars about it, and figuring what's the best way for me to do with it.
It's what I call everyday, everyone, everywhere abolition, because it takes all of us to find what is hidden in plain sight. In fact, Senator Keyes would put it this way: the greatest weapon we have to combat human trafficking is our citizens, because we can have the best laws, and we do. We were the first state to prosecute a trafficker under state law, but it really takes all of us to find what is going on, to identify it within our communities, within our families even, within our houses of worship. I mean, I speak all over to all different kinds of groups, and I have yet to table, even at a concert, or speak about human trafficking where at least one person doesn't come to me and say, this has happened to someone I know, is happening to someone I know, or it's happened to me. So this is more common than we realize, and we're starting the conversation.